Hello, everyone. Welcome back to BLBS, The Dark World. Today, we are finally back after a little bit of a shenanigans, some kerfuffle going on in the lives of multiple of our members, but BLBS is back. It's not gonna be consistent. Let's be real.
Tucker,
But oh God, Abram, you have something
Tucker,
to
we've
say?
been doing this every week. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We haven't missed an episode. Go look for them. They're on YouTube. They're there.
Well, if my flow weren't broken, I would have said thank you for joining us. This is Abram and Timo and Tanner, and today we're going to be talking about whatever the hell. I think we should sort of come up with an intro at some point that we can say. Yeah, that'd be fun.
That doesn't suffice.
No,
not quite. No, but as the host today, I'm excited to welcome you back to BLBS, and I'm going to throw it to Tanner to see what he has first for us.
Tanner, whoa, he's gonna give us some. Well, should we go around the horn and just do a little chat first, or should we dive right into the segments? I don't want to steal your decision, Mr. Bossman, but
Well,
he made his decision.
yeah, sorry.
Okay,
Did you just question the host?
Yeah,
That's very presumptuous.
I've got an F.
Yeah.
I have a.
you're
an
in
F.
you're
an
in
F
BLBS
incoming.
jail now.
Timo, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to get an orange flag for that one.
Oh sheesh!
Fuck.
Tucker, do you have a flag?
You're gonna
system?
get a burgundy flag, actually.
No,
For that.
burgundy flag.
Not the burgundy flag.
Sorry, Timo, but that's a burgundy flag error in my.
I'd like to see the Tucker Hazel flag system.
Yeah,
penalty system for BLBS.
I don't think I'm allowed to share that.
Oh, okay.
They told me I couldn't.
Presentation incoming, a la the hit list.
Sure. No, actually, that's not a terrible idea.
Okay.
I'll write that down.
So, ladies, gentlemen, people of the internet, I'm sure you've heard of an app called TikTok. Okay, at least 50% of us are on said app. And,
sadly, I have heard of it. Yes.
Yeah, the other one being Timo and I. It's a huge time sink for me. I'm not sure how often Timo is on this app, but
I'm not. I deleted it.
There's a sensation.
Hold on, let's pause. Let's give a round of applause for Timo.
I never
He
was
came
really
out of
on it. I
rehab,
never really was
TikTok
on it
rehab.
in the first place, but I have since left it.
Timo,
for
how
good.
long have you been TikTok sober?
Long time.
Yeah. You got
Tucker,
that 30-day chip.
Tucker, for the purposes of grading, I'd just like you to know that I'm the only one that clapped when you asked us to. I just want that noted.
Okay, great point. I
got
that
the
will be
spotlight
noted.
right now. I'm not clapping for somebody who doesn't use TikTok, okay? I'm keeping up on all these hot cultural trends.
Tanner
the
hates
sensation-
sobriety.
This is true. We all know this. But regardless, there is a sensation sweeping TikTok right now. The sensation known only as devious licks.
Oh, yeah.
So, for those of you who may or may not be aware,
I am not aware.
the devious lick, as it is known among the progeny of the young people of this country, is when you go into your local high school, or maybe middle school. I don't know if it's reached the young minds yet, if it's poisoned
even younger
youngest minds of yeah. But you go into your school and you steal something, or it has devolved into you just cause general mayhem and violence and vandalism. Debauchery. But it started out as you steal something. So I wanted to expand this out because that's already devolving into just vandalism.
Yes.
I wanted to expand this out as a question, as a discussion topic for us. What is the most quote unquote devious lick that happened at your high school in your time? What is the worst act of vandalism or debauchery that you can recall from your time? Your terrible 4 years of high school.
I've got a good one.
Okay.
Start off.
So I knew this kid in high school, right? Who was
let's call him Shabram.
Shabram.
Let's call him Shabram. Sure. I will say for the purpose of the story, this is not me.
Okay.
I knew this guy.
But so every year, my high school is close to this place called LL Bean, and LL Bean every year at Halloween time did this charity event where you would come and bring a pumpkin that you carved to LL Bean, and they would donate a certain amount of money per pumpkin to Camp Sunshine, which is a camp. This isn't funny. A camp for people who are terminally ill to go with their families and have a good time, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's giggle worthy. I understand.
No, the giggle worthy part is coming up, but it's also not funny. This is really not funny. It's kind of funny. And so every year, our school.
I'm glad you're telling this story on our decidedly very serious show.
Yeah, yeah.
Every year, our school would buy hundreds of pumpkins and bring them to my school, and it'd be a whole afternoon. But classes would get out early. You would meet with your advisor groups, and you'd carve pumpkins, give them to LLB, and they would they'd donate the money, right? So I knew this kid who went and just took a couple pumpkins, and over his head, as though he was Donkey Kong, just threw them into the wall of the science building, just smashing pumpkin after pumpkin after pumpkin. For no reason other than he thought it'd be fun to smash the pumpkins. Of course, every smashed pumpkin directly took money out of the happiness of terminally ill children. So I think
this is true.
I think that was probably one of the worst ones we had.
That's a really dark, devious lick.
Yeah, that is maybe the most devious, as in closest to the original meaning of the word devious.
I have one that refers to a certain a fella I knew in high school. We'll call him Schmunker, who was at one point it was towards our end of our lives in high school, and we
end of our lives.
There was school board election times, and there was this guy in our class who ran for the school board, and everybody hated this guy. This guy was top number one most annoying
hating someone.
No, running for school board as a student.
Well, I think yeah, I guess it was, yeah. And so he fundraised, and he did a lot of work to become on school board. His politics were bad. He was not going to advocate for stuff that would improve the school, but he also was just widely hated amongst everyone in our class and everyone who knew him, actually. Yeah.
Can I ask a clarifying question here?
Yes.
When you say school board, I thought you meant like student government. You're talking
No,
about
I'm talking about like the literal school board,
the
like
people who allocate money towards the actual educational system.
The people who run the district, which is an elected position. This guy, not Schmunker. Schmunker comes in later. This guy ran for, and he went all out. He raised money for his campaign. He had campaign signs, because he was so widely reviled. One evening, this fella Schmunker went out and swiped a campaign sign from his neighbor's yard. He just uprooted it and took it because, of course, that was the right thing to do. And so I forget where that campaign sign is nowadays, but there you go.
It may still be in my room.
I thought this person's name was Schmunker.
Yeah, hang on a second.
He and I are tight.
Oh, okay. You and Schmunker. Okay. I'm sure the statute of limitations for whatever low-level theft that is.
I do recall
stealing a yard sign.
I do recall
$4 of plastic.
The neighbor was pissed about it, though, right?
Really?
Wasn't that part of the story?
It might have been a situation where they like posted it on Nextdoor.
They posted it on Nextdoor.
Stole my sign.
Yeah, that was the situation. That was what was going on.
Sure. Tucker, do you have one?
Now, I had a great one while Timo was talking, and then as he continued talking, it left my head. So I'm gonna need some time to recuperate it. But so if you can go first, I'll see if I can. dig it back out.
I have quite a few. I have a plethora of them that I don't know a lot about, so I'll just rattle them off. The first one I'll go with is maybe. Do you guys ever have like a senior or whatever that you look up to when you're in high school? I sort of had a role model that I learned a few things about. This was a devious lick, as was Timo's. When this guy was a freshman actually in high school, he stole a stuffed bird. Well, our science room had a bunch of like taxidermied animals.
Okay.
He stole a bird, like a stuffed bird from the classroom, and he hid it away in the back of his closet for years and years. And comes around to his senior year in high school. Okay. And he's like getting ready for college. His parents came out. At this point, he has also been elected. He's an upstanding member of the school. By the by, he's the president of the student council.
Whoa!
And his father comes upon this stuffed taxidermied bird, reports it to the science teacher who still works there, and there was an impeachment at the Siblio Cheaton High School student government because this guy was impeached.
He was impeached.
President. Yes.
What a shitty dad.
Yeah, exactly. What else? What else?
He doesn't respect the devious legs.
Yeah, we had kids get arrested for drugs. Like there was a kid who knew the cops were coming, flushed all the drugs down this toilet, and still got let out in handcuffs. We had a fight that made it onto World Star. Are you guys familiar with what World Star is?
Yep.
Tens of thousands of likes on World Star. I cannot for the life of me find that fight on the internet anywhere now. But
it's not just World Star Sibley fight, like, or name of high school.
I don't think they put the name in the description or anything.
Actually, that's a pretty good idea that they don't do that. Yeah.
It did become so famous. This fight became infamous at our school that the kid who got beat up left.
Whoa.
Damn.
To be fair, he was big. He was the one who instigated the fight. Like he said, he was like pushing on the guy. He swung. By the way, this guy is like 4 inches taller than him and like 6 inches wider than him. This kid was not built for a fight against this individual. The first kid like took a swung at him, missed, and the other kid came back at him and just cleaned his clock on the floor, out like a light. Right. And so yeah, justifiably this kid moved schools. But yes, there was some good time at the old Sibley Cheaton High School.
There was an organized fight at Tucker and I school of some guys that I knew. Actually, one of my roommates participated in this. And
I think I've got footage
where there was a betting ring set up surrounding the fight. Two friends were gonna duke it out in a park late at night on some weekend, and there was
different
betting involved. So you could bet on one of them, and some people were the bookkeepers, the bookies, and apparently some people made some money off of it. And then the fight, of course, in this kind of fashion, like any good MMA fight that is hyped up for weeks and weeks and weeks, ended in a draw.
Oh, well, sure. Okay.
How else would it? Now, I've got one and a bonus one, and I'm actually going to start with the bonus one because it's a lot quicker. And this is bending the rules a little bit, because this was not during my high school career. This was my middle school career, in which 2 kids were caught having sex in an orchestra, like, study practice room, well, tiny little practice rooms. This was middle school. And they were both kicked out of school.
Whoa!
Was sent to like military fucking training.
The military camp, not military school.
That's a little.
Some shit like
that's
that.
a little harsh. I think that's a little harsh.
Were you guys ever fearful of military school as a kid? Because it was always like the boogeyman.
Do you think Pat Hazel would send me and Keaton to military school?
No, well, it was always like the boogeyman of like children's movies and stuff. The kids always like, I can't get in trouble, otherwise my dad's gonna ship me off to military school.
Sounds like you watch like hillbilly movies.
I used to be more afraid that there'd be some kind of major war, and when I turned 18, I'd be drafted into it. That's what I was more afraid of.
Oh, okay.
That was a persistent fear of mine.
I've got to get to my main lick, which this is not an on-property lick, but this is one of the most devious things that happened in our high school time. And Timo can help me fill out the details on this. But we know a man. We'll call him Gum Thornhill.
Oh yeah.
And he likes to engage in unsolicited activities, illicit things is what I meant to say. Allegedly in Roblox, whatever. And he was driving along a car one day with a couple friends in the back, and they decided to go real fast.
Decided to go extremely. They decided to go not just fast. They decided to go as fast as they could. To test the limits of speed, and they were in a fast car. They were in a nice Ford Mustang. It was like It was a brand new car, speedy as all get out, and up this hill.
Can I finish my story?
Yes, you finish your story. I was adding the details as you wished.
No, that's actually reasonable. Thank you. But so they're going up this hill. They're going just as fast as can be, and they come to an object that is usually known to stop the acceleration of vehicles and motor vehicles. A boulder, a large rock,
a gigantic rock
that is sitting at the entrance of a park, of a field. So they go just as fast as can be, careen straight into a rock, and the rock is pushed into the middle of the field, and the car is just totaled.
They were going about 100 miles an hour when they crested the hill. And by the time they
there was certainly airtime involved.
Yeah, by the time they slammed on the brakes, it's estimated they probably hit the rock going 75.
And so the rock was like skidded into the middle of the thing. There was car parts everywhere, and I believe they just fled the scene. as far as I can remember. But yeah, the other
I recall the story being about like some parents' guns were in the back of the car too.
There were other illicit materials.
As far as I could remember, the driver was actually completely sober. He just
that's the dumbest part.
And was anybody hurt in this?
Long term?
Yeah. Not long term, I don't think, but like lower back pain, some maybe a splinter or something like that. I can't.
Yeah, but not like what you would expect from a 75 mile an hour into a rock type. They got off lucky.
Yeah.
No.
And and they say to this day you can still find car parts in Boulder Park in Lost Creek.
Yeah, they say to this day, if you go out there at night.
Now, Tanner, if you'd oblige me, I've got one more story actually. Speaking of cars.
Yeah, go for it.
So this was, I was either my junior or my senior year. There was this underclassman, we'll call him William. And William had
could be real for as little as we know. That is probably accurate.
No. William had this Volkswagen that he was very proud of. It was not a very impressive car by any stretch of the imagination.
Was it like a Jetta or something?
It was actually. It was actually a Jetta or a Golf. It was one of the two. But William was so proud of this car. He said it was from Italy. His parents imported it from Italy for him.
That's not whether they make Volkswagens.
Right. Whether or not it was true or not, who knows? Who cares? The car was tricked out. The point is, every day during our varsity tennis practice, William would tell us about this Volkswagen.
Okay.
And so
an infamous motor vehicle, it sounds.
Yeah.
Yes. And a couple of my less scrupulous friends who are on the tennis team were really fucking sick of hearing about this car. So they decided that they were going to mess with it. Now they didn't want to get in any serious trouble. So what they would do is one afternoon they went and they moved the mirrors and they lifted up the windshield wipers. And that was it. Nothing happened. You hear from William at practice, what the fuck happened? Who's touching my car? Whatever. The next day they do the same thing. So the recourse for this was that William then sent an all-school email saying somebody is fucking with my car and it needs to stop and I'm gonna fight whoever did it.
Now my question is, how does one send an all school email? I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah, If you go to I suppose, Abram, you probably went to a smaller school than these two gentlemen. Yes. You can send a school to there's groups that you can, because the teacher would do they would do like an at all students sort of thing.
You could do like the class of 2019 whatever.com, and it would send to all the students, right? So they sent out this ultimatum, right? That there's going to be a fight if people didn't stop messing with the car. Now, of course, as soon as this email was sent, the windshield wipers removed again.
Oh, yes. Of course. Why wouldn't they be?
And going to a small school, there really was not a great response time from the faculty on this point, right? And us on the tennis team obviously knew who was doing it, and we all thought it was funny. But you had to maintain your cool, right?
Yes.
But so eventually we're gonna call this next gentleman James. James is the one who's messing with the car. It's revealed that James is messing with the car. So James is getting harassed. James sends another all-school email back to William saying that he's willing to fight.
Okay.
And then I'll never forget this as long as I live. William sends another email back, another all-school email, in which he calls him, quote, a juice head monkey, and said that we're going to fight at lunch today. And so he's a very tall, very skinny gentleman, comes running into the cafeteria. We're sitting with James. He turns to stand up. We all stand up around him to stop what's about to happen, so they don't get into a brawl in the cafeteria over being called a juice head monkey, touching the windshield wipers.
It's about the worst thing you can call someone in an all-school email.
Yes, absolutely. But that's the important part to realize. 300 students were aware that this was happening.
Oh, Christ.
Jesus.
And unfortunately, there was no fight. There was an apology. There was a threat from the administration to not touch the windshield wipers on the Jetta again, and it fizzled out from there.
Hey.
This
Italian import Volkswagen Jetta.
I used to leave my old Volvo. I used to leave my Volvo unlocked at school, and one day after
really,
I did, yeah. Because who would steal that car? No one.
True.
And I learned my lesson. I stopped doing it after a single event in which I came back from a band event. It was some stupid thing for band, and I found a blow up sex doll in my back seat. And I think someone put it there. Someone.
Well, it wasn't me, but I could probably have guessed who it was.
Yeah. And so after that event, I locked my doors to my car while I was away.
Now, I was not involved in much devious. I was tangential to many devious acts in high school, but I was never too devious myself.
Oh,
One
sure.
of the more
Allegedly.
devious things that I did do, and this is not devious at all, but I played it up as such, is I filled a couple Ziploc bags with mulch and I put them on the hood of Timo's car.
Yeah, you
and,
did
and
that.
That's
like,
it.
It was a similar event. Well, I didn't know who did it, and so I was kind of PO'd for like a day or two, and then I was like, "Lol, that was dumb."
Gabe and I were raking leaves, and we're like, hey, what if we put leaves in a bag and put them on Timo's car? And we did. That's about it. And I have a picture somewhere, and that's what I've been looking for, but I can't find it. It's lost in the sauce. But yeah, that was probably one of the more devious things that I engaged in high school.
Well,
which is that's like a 0.05 on the devious scale.
I think we've sufficiently incriminated ourselves and various and various schoolmates of ours. So
good.
Thank you for indulging my devious lick segment.
And I'm gonna actually transition over to me.
Your segment.
I have a topic that has tangentially somewhat to do with something that Tanner brought up earlier. And here is my question for you guys. What weird things scared you when you were a kid? I heard Tanner talk about military school, and so that's what reminded me, but I was already planning that, so haha. Okay, Abram, why don't you go?
Okay, I'm looking it up right now. Are you familiar with this gentleman here? This is Spot the dog.
Sure.
Okay.
No.
That's an ancient memory, and I don't think I was ever a Spot stan, but
okay, perfect. I found it
in the background of my grandma's house on TV, maybe, or is it a book character? Who knows?
It was there was books and there was a TV show, right? And so the first thing I ever remember being scared of my entire life is this monkey here. His name is Steve. And I remember being the first time I remember being physically frightened in my entire life. It was because of that monkey Steve. I'll never forget that.
Jesus Christ.
Steve the monkey. Okay.
Steve the monkey.
I have one.
No,
mine is of a more serious nature. Growing up in California, I had a large fear of wildfires. I was probably lightly traumatized for a long time as a child because it's a part of living in California, and I remember waking up being very, very, very little, and having gone outside back when I actually lived in a city in California, and seeing the orange sky and having ash being falling out of the heavens like it's snow. And that's a freaky thing as like a 4-year-old to witness. And so I was pretty terrified of fire and wildfire for a long time, for a good 4 years, like from 4 to 8. I was scared of it, and then I got unscared. I don't know how.
Yeah, forest fires just an everyday occurrence.
You were comforted
You're a huge fan now.
Yes, I do love a forest fire.
You were comforted by the reassuring message of one Smokey the Bear.
Yeah, you too.
Where you're like,
can help prevent forest fires.
I can help prevent forest fires.
Yes,
you're right.
Can. I will not go smoking while I walk around in the woods.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've never done that since.
No, I actually haven't.
There you go. Forest fires.
I follow Smokey the Bear, man. You can't diss him. He's a righteous individual.
Truly he is.
All right, Tanner.
To be honest. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. You can go.
Okay. To be honest, military school wasn't actually like a fear of mine. It was just like a thing I always remember being like a scary thing in movies. What did scare me as a child was a certain film by director Ron Howard, whose film we were watching for Quest this week.
Oh.
A film known only as How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the live action version. I was terrified of Jim Carrey's The Grinch. Okay.
That's reasonable.
I thought that fucking guy was living in my. Honest to God, I thought he was living in my closet. That's because I slept and I would look at my closet door as I slept. And I fucking knew he was in there. I fucking knew he was.
Was he?
No, he was not. No,
Oh.
he never revealed himself to me, I guess.
Sure.
How
I
often did
also
you check?
watched.
Because he was only in there the times you didn't check.
Yeah,
This is true.
Schrodinger's Jim Carrey's The Grinch.
I also watched Freddy vs. Jason at too young of an age, so
I
that scarred me a little bit.
Star Wars Episode 3 at far too young of an age.
And Ewan McGregor scared you.
Yeah, and Ewan McGregor, just his acting was really frightening to me. No, the
Star Wars Episode 3 is an interesting one to me because I remember seeing it at probably a pretty reasonable age for someone to be seeing, because it's rated PG-13, but it's not like super inappropriate.
Well, it just has some fairly graphic depictions. It's frightening when he's like dying on the lava.
I guess I never thought that, but regardless, I saw it at a reasonable age, and my brother, being 2 years younger, was not allowed to see it yet. And I remember flaunting that in his face, like, ha ha ha! I have seen something you haven't. I am allowed to view such heinous material. And you are but a child.
It was a PG-13 movie, right? And so I probably saw it when I was like 10.
Oh, I saw plenty of heinous shit when I was young. Age ratings never applied to me. I was above that. but there are a number of. Oh, okay, fine.
I remember very vividly. My mom had got me a subscription to Game Informer, but she was as probably 6 or 7 at this time. But so she was very sensitive to the mature games featured in the magazine. So what she would do is the Game Informer would arrive in the mail. She would take a pair of scissors and clip out only the articles she thought were fit for me to read. Oh. So I would see this Game Informer arrive, and then I'd be handed maybe 45 minutes later, like 3 to 5 individual like little scraps of paper, and that's all I was allowed to read. Now, of course, she got really fucking tired of doing that, so that transitioned to me getting a Nintendo Power subscription, which ended up being really wonderful for me. But I'll never forget getting
that's some much
of a magazine
PCA shit. Like that's
I was gonna
Joseph
say
Breen.
I was gonna say that reminds me of the thing from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, where they get Greg gets the really violent comic or whatever, or like it's a Batman fucking thing or whatever stand-in, but his mom like draws over the violent stuff of them like of him like giving hugs to the criminals and stuff. That's what that reminds me of.
That's some pretty good childhood censorship, which I don't think I ever really encountered. But there were a number of relatively popular feature films that scared the ever-living bejesus out of me when I was a child. And I'm someone who doesn't scare easily anymore. I watch a lot of horror movies. It doesn't really faze me. But when I was young, the shark from Finding Nemo scared the absolute piss out of me. And I think that's still why still to this day, even though I am a huge fan of underwater settings and I wanted to be a marine biologist as a kid, I still don't really like Nemo that much. It's just like a deep-seated uncomfortableness.
Well, it's a boring movie.
Well, here I'm gonna one up you on movies that you probably shouldn't be scared of as a child, but I was really scared of. The first movie I ever went and saw in theaters as a young child, I must have been 5 or something, or no, whenever this movie came out, Cars. I was way scared. Not like
Pixar's fucking scary, man.
Not the
true.
It wasn't like, oh, I'm scared of what I'm seeing on screen. I was like it was too tense. I couldn't deal with the stress of is he gonna win?
Of watching Cars.
Of watching Cars. and I had to leave the theater. I had to leave the theater. So what year did Cars come out? Do you know off the top of your head?
2006, yeah.
Yeah, so I was 5 when I saw that. That was the first movie I ever saw in theaters, and I left.
It's funny you say that, Timo, because I also left the theater watching Cars.
For different reason. It was bad.
I don't know why, but it was a very overwhelming movie.
Yeah, it was very overwhelming for a little 5-year-old me. I couldn't deal with it. I left.
But I remember did you guys have leapfrogs?
Yes.
They were present in other people's houses, but I didn't have one.
Because I had the Cars Leapfrog book, and I remember when I left the movie early, my parents told me I couldn't finish reading the Cars Leapfrog book until I'd seen all of the movie, or I'd spoil it for myself.
Why were your parents concerned about 5-year-old Abram having spoilers?
They're purists. They're purists.
Oh my god!
Like, you can't read the novelization until you finish the movie. Listen, you're gonna spoil it. You need to. That's almost backwards though, because they should tell you weren't able. They should have gotten it for you. He's like, okay, you have to read this Leapfrog book before you see the films, just so you compare and contrast.
I have no idea why that happened.
That's so lit. That's so
It's a
funny.
punishment.
You should
It was a
confront them
punish-
about that at some point.
It was a
I'm sure they're gonna
punishment
watch
for you.
this. I'm sure I'll hear about it.
It was a punishment for you because they were really invested in cars. They wanted to see what happened. They were just punishing you for making them leave early.
I'm just extrapolating this, imagining your mom and your dad watching the Cars 3 trailer in theaters and just bawling their eyes out
because they think
it was unsure. We were unsure that Lightning McQueen would live or not, and they're like, "No!" and screaming in the theater filled with children.
Grown adults.
The movie that scared me the most as a kid, though, and I had like a guttural reaction to this, was a movie called The Last Mimsy. And now I don't know a lot about this movie because I never watched more than 30 minutes of it. But there's like a little rabbit doll that washes up in a box on a beach or some shit, and there's some kids and there's a dad. I don't know. But some part of it freaked the shit out of me. And I had my uncle leave the theater with me. And we just went and sat outside the theater while the rest of my family finished watching the movie in the theater. Whoa. And to this day, I've never finished that film. I don't know what it was. Like, I was crying. I can't even remember what scared me. I'm sure that movie contains no frightening imagery whatsoever. But the final film that scared me a lot was Big with Tom Hanks, because the idea of a kid being in an adult's body and like adults treating him like adult, that freaked me out on a guttural level, because I was the kind of kid, I was into like Toy Story and stuff, and really about childhood wonder, and the idea of that being taken away from me, just like
all things that Tucker hates now.
Yes, all things that Tucker hates.
Children,
childhood wonder, children
having fun,
having
exactly. Fish. The giant piano in the toy store in New York.
Yeah.
God, I hate that. Just kidding. But that brings my segment to a close, unless any of you have anything else to add.
I don't think so.
No? Okay. All right.
Nothing.
Timo,
yes.
What did you bring?
I have a little show and tell for us. We're gonna go back. Since we're reminiscing about our very, very early years, we're gonna go back, and because I did some reminiscing about my very, very early years. If you know me, which you do, you know that I used to be a huge Lego kid. I loved Legos. I had a huge amount of them. And I played with them and I built them, but then for the last 10 or so years, I hadn't really ever messed with Legos. It's just, I got older. I played video games, did other stuff,
did cooler things.
Yeah. I didn't play with my fingers as much anymore. And so last week, or about a week and a half ago, I got my my security deposit back from the previous apartment I was renting for the entire amount. So I got a nice $1,400 check in the mail, and I thought, I'm going to buy myself a gift. And you know what gift I bought? I bought a big-ass Lego set, because why not? And so I built it. It's sitting next to me on my desk. It is a tow truck. It's a humongous tow truck. I will lift it up for you now. You can see it and how huge it is.
Oh, wow. Look at that. That is pretty big.
You can see the size of my hands.
Intricate as well, yeah.
It is extremely intricate. It's actually, I don't know how they designed it, because there's so many features and things in it that
Does it have flick missiles?
No.
Most of the sets that I grew up with had flick missiles. Like an obscene amount of them had flick missiles.
No, Timo, I have two questions for you. They're interconnected, and they are far more serious in the presence of flick missiles.
Yes.
How much did this cost, and how does it justify whatever obscene amount of money you paid for it?
This costs, the set is retail value at $150, and so I bought it for $150.
Okay. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be double that.
It was.
You should have gotten that $350 new Marvel Lego set that has a bunch of heroes, and it has the Daily Bugle.
Well, you see, I don't give a shit about Marvel, and so why would I buy the Lego Marvel set?
Pretty reasonable.
This one was like 2,000 pieces. It took me a couple evenings to put it together. Extremely enjoyable. A very good self-care weekend. You just sit there and you just build Legos for like 8 hours. That was what I did. And it was a great time. It does all. I don't need to show them all to you, but it has a shit ton of features. Things go up and down. It's got this little pneumatic.
How often will you find yourself engaging in these features?
Recently I just put it on my desk. I put the truck down here on my desk to the side, and it just kind of sits there. And while I'm doing something, if I'm a little bored, I'll just twist a knob and make a feature happen, and then I'll go back to doing what I want. And then I'll just go and twist it, and it's big and orange. It makes a great display piece. But I really got it for the building pleasure of putting it all together because,
of course,
man, what a feeling that you really just.
Sure.
It felt great. It felt great to build my Legos again especially after so many years.
Timo, I don't want to turn this into a deposition, but I'm going to keep asking more questions in an interrogatory fashion.
Yeah, ask away.
Of all
of the Lego sets you could have purchased, what makes you choose a tow truck?
It's very technical. It's actually a Technic set. It's not a regular
Technic set.
It's not a regular system set, and so I was just kind of into that. I think it looks cool. And I thought it had cool functions. And for the $150, which was what I wanted to spend, it was right on the money. I had to buy it from Barnes & Noble. It's out of sale. It's out of stock in every other retailer in the country. So old Barnes & Noble pulled through and shipped it to me in a couple days.
There's one Barnes & Noble in Austin, Texas.
Now, Timo, I don't know what the presence of this location still is, but if you may, I think that you doing a vlog of you visiting the Lego store at the Barton Creek Mall would be beautiful content. That place was magical as a child.
Yeah,
I spent an absolutely obscene amount of time there.
So here's the deal. I now own a tow truck. I also am an adult with disposable income that I could choose to spend my previously as a kid, $150 on a Lego set, unhead of. Never would have bought that. That was
$150 was an unheard of amount.
But as an adult,
I don't think that much money exists on the planet.
Yeah. As someone who has ways to get money and ways to spend money, it's a lot more justified. I think it's a lot less money to me now than it was 10 years ago, and so. I have a tow truck. Lego makes a lot of cars, makes a lot of model cars. And so now I need something to tow with my tow truck. And so
great point.
If any of you viewers or any of you guys have a suggestion for which Lego car model I should get. I had some ideas myself, but
the Death Star. Towing the Death Star.
How about you tow the new $350 Marvel set that comes with all these heroes in the Daily Bugle?
I'll tow the Daily Bugle.
Yeah.
I had a little Lego Tow-Mater as a kid. It was like about this big. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we'll see. I definitely don't have any urges to spend money on Lego in the next couple months. So it'll probably just hang out for a while as a nice display piece. And once I get the urge again, and once I get money that I did not think I was going to have, then here you go. I will buy another.
Well, how about that?
Now, Timo, I have one final thing related to Legos.
Yes.
I sent a link to a YouTube video. In fact, this is my first ever YouTube video. Can you pull that shit up?
Oh my god, look at this.
Tanner, don't spoil yourself. Don't watch it yet.
All right, let's hold on. Let me fade over, and we will get this.
We're closing this out on Legos, on the Lego theme, but bringing it back to something very personal to me, which is my first ever uploaded YouTube video.
Yeah,
now, I've never actually seen this standby screen before. This is new.
Okay, well,
do you guys ever think that star thing that we use kind of looks like the Skyrim upgrading screen?
It kind of does. Yeah, it kind of does.
Sure. Yeah, it could. Yeah. Timo, you have access? Visual access?
Visual access incoming in 3, 2, 1.
All right. This is my very first YouTube video. It is also one of my very first Lego stop motions, which I did a bunch of. I have like 7 of them on my YouTube channel. They're very old. December 27th of 2012.
Quality, I've got 2 options, 240 and 144. So we'll go with 240.
We're watching this in high quality.
I need you to re-upload this in 1080.
Yeah, we need a remastered edition.
Honestly, if I find my old iTouch, I'm sure this file is still on there. I can export it and
the old iTouch, dude. What a
Can I have a 1080p upload of an off-screen version? Can you just record the YouTube video on your phone and publish that in 1080?
Oh yeah,
that would be higher quality technically.
All right, let's watch.
This is called A Little Surprise, directed by WeoStar. Enjoy. The audio is not very good.
Bam!
Whoa! Snap!
Biff! Holy Biff!
Ow. Bang! The end. Well, I'm glad that I'm glad that you cut away from a lot of the violence. You know, as we've established, we have some members of our group here that are a little, you know, have an aversion to tense and tense situation, graphic situations like that.
I want to watch Slender
Cars.
Cow. I want to watch
Slender Cow. You can put Slender Cow on the background, and after if we watch a few of these videos, I can do a little bit of Q&A.
Okay, well, look at this Q&A with the director.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa!
His head turning all the way around. Whoa, is inspired by The Exorcist.
Slender Cow.
Oh no! The cow got abducted. I know the man got.
And his head got.
The end.
Whoa!
I like the ending screen is the same.
The 3 animations.
Well, look at that.
Oh, he's eating it, dude.
It up.
Oh no! It's the cycle of it's the cycle of life, baby.
There's always a bigger fish.
I love the blood. Oh shit! He got eaten by a huge crocodile.
And the Millennium Falcon landed on him.
That one was pretty good. I like that one. He's got a little robot. That's a cool robot.
This guy's getting mugged.
Nice.
So I've seen a number of these because when I was visiting you boys in Nebraska, Tucker took me a little bit of an adventure back through the Yu-Gi-Oh! Star back catalog. And one thing that always interested me is just the complete inability to keep the background stable in between frames. You would think you just really move the camera.
Now, see this one. That's one of the smoothest things I ever did. That transition there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can you see where this was filmed? Can you see what this background is?
Is that a plane table?
This is a plain tray table.
Oh, interesting.
That's very smooth.
But why is that smoother than the other ones?
Why does this one have 6,000 views?
Whoa!
I can go on a lot of tangents here, but let's start the Q&A. You've seen a couple. There's a bunch more in case you're ever curious.
Mr. Hazel.
Yes. Okay. Yes. You in the audience.
How does it feel to arguably be the youngest filmmaker to ever, you know, film a short on a moving plane, on a moving aircraft?
That is actually technically possible.
Yeah.
That I'm one of the only people to ever make a stop motion animation on a plane, and especially also, probably the youngest.
Yeah. Under the age of 12. How old were you when you made that?
Well, what year was it up?
17.
The 3 animations. No, it probably wasn't too much, before that.
Tucker, I think we should call up Guinness. I think you might hold that record.
This was 2014, so you would have been 14.
Which month?
May.
Okay, so I was 13.
Yeah, there you go.
Not yet turned 14. So that's pretty young. But you can see within a year my animation skills exponentially increased.
This just makes me want to go back and find my Lego stop motion animations from before when I even lived in Texas.
Fucking guys, how many of you fucking guys are making Lego stop animations?
How do you think about it? Think about it, Tanner. The logical progression of my life as a filmmaker starts with Lego stop motion animations.
Same here. Yeah, exactly.
I guess that's fair. Any
other questions about these films? Some of them might require a small amount of explanation.
Yeah, what actually happens in the first one that we saw? Is unintelligible. Yeah, and a little surprise.
Now, see, I really liked superheroes. I really liked superheroes fighting, and I'm like, I want to do a video where these heroes fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But I didn't know how to do that, and my skills were very low. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna do a little twist. The fight's gonna start. We're gonna cut away to my pet frog, whose name was Sushi, and we're gonna show Sushi, but the sound effects are still gonna be happening. You got pow, you got biff, you got bam, and then when it cuts back, fight's over. What happened? You'll never know, because there was a little surprise in the middle, which was that we didn't show the fight because I didn't know how to animate it.
You see, you got to work with you. That is an important step. Knowing what you have and adapting around it. We're already on your way to becoming an excellent filmmaker in that moment.
Thank you.
I feel like Abram is about to disagree with me.
No. Tucker, the correct answer there, when you're doing your junkets as you're going to for your Yu-Gi-Oh! Star work when it's remastered in 4K.
Great point.
that you cared more about the human character drama and humanizing the frog than you did about the action itself. The action was tangential to the true material, which was the human cost. Or the amphibian cost, I suppose.
You've got an action opening sequence and an action closing sequence, but in the middle it's just a character study.
Right. Yes. Right. That's the answer we're gonna give.
Yes.
Great point.
Very
great point.
nice. Very nice.
It really says a lot about the human spirit, I feel.
Yes.
Thank you, analyst Tanner.
The frogman spirit.
And any other questions before we close this out?
I think not. Thank you for showing that.
I gotta be honest, you guys all brought excellent topics today. Tanner, I actually you started with TikTok and I was a little bit worried.
Yeah.
I don't like TikTok. It makes me uncomfortable and scared, and it uproots my worldview.
It's new media, so
exactly.
The older generation is always gonna be frightened by it. Yeah.
Yes. But you turned it around into a very interesting topic in which stories were unearthed, and I enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Now wait, Abram, did I ever ask you what your topic was?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Yeah. I was like, oh, it's great, Abram. Now, what the fuck did he talk about? You shared so many stories within all of our segments that I kind of felt like you had said enough, and I don't really want to hear more of your voice, but I'll begrudgingly allow you.
Well, so here's the thing. I was going to. It was fortuitous for me because I was going to forfeit my topic anyway. Chiefly because this episode has gone longer than they usually do, and if I want to make it to the dining hall and eat dinner before they close,
okay,
I must make sure the episode ends as soon as possible.
Okay, yes. Quick last segment for you. What are you gonna go eat?
It's the fucking Wild West out there. So there's about 300 new students that came this year.
Beef jerky or whatever.
Yes, beef jerky and like cactus
biscuits and gravy.
The point is that there
beans.
Are hundreds more students than our school can hold, right? So God fucking knows what's going to be at the cafeteria by the time you make it. Sometimes there's not even silverware.
The ultimate goal, I feel, of for one of us being on BLBS, being a presenter, is to trick the host into not calling on us for a segment. It's just, for everyone to bring good enough segments, for us to contribute enough comedy-wise for them to just gloss it over completely. I think that is a goal we should all set for ourselves.
You win if you do that.
Abram's currently in first place for that.
Yeah.
Now this leaderboard may not update.
No.
Ever. But it may in the future as well.
I mean, Tucker, you were winning last week in the last episode. When we recorded last week.
When we recorded last week's episode.
Yeah.
That the one that came out, yeah.
Yep. Right. You're right.
But Abram, you have to get an A+ for that. I mean, you subverted my expectations so hard that I thought you brought an excellent subject.
Yeah.
I thought you brought an excellent topic, but you didn't.
Thank you.
That's how good it was.
Thank you.
Whoa.
No real topic could ever really compare. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Now my topic I thought brought out some interesting things. I've learned a lot about all of you. I'm gonna give myself a B+ on that one. I could have done better. I feel like I could have kept the flow going. My own sharing was a little bit underwhelming, but I think it was a great topic.
Now, I don't want to throw my A+ into jeopardy here by criticizing the host, but since the grade is already in the grade book, I think it'd be incorrect of you to edit it. So I'm going to say this. If the host doesn't know that one of 3 members did not contribute a topic, I feel like that should negatively reflect upon your score.
Yeah. Now the question is, are we rating just the topic or their performance within the entire episode?
I think it was just the performance. Is it performance?
I thought these were performance.
Yeah, you're right. No, I think making a more robust and interesting grading system, reflecting certain different aspects, like Abram, actually, you're getting a boost. You're getting an A++, 2 pluses, because you clapped when no one else did. Remember, bonus points.
Please clap.
Right.
Please.
Tucker Jeb bushed Hazel.
Tucker Jeb moment.
Timo, your car was cool, but I think me bringing up my Lego animations made the Lego segment a little bit more interesting. So unfortunately, because you needed a large amount of support to maintain interest, you're gonna get a C+.
I got a C+ last week. Damn it!
Did you really? Oh yeah, when that happened, yeah.
Yeah.
Great point. Great point.
Hey,
but
C's get degrees, and by the time we're done with this, I will have a doctorate in segments.
Yeah, I'm working on my PhD in topicology. But I think that brings us to a close here. Thank you very much for watching, everyone.
Does Tanner get a grade?
I
gave him one before Abram segment.
He got a P for passing.
No, I gave you a grade. What the fuck are you talking about?
Which grade did you give me?
I don't remember. Go back and watch the video.
No, you did not give him a grade.
No, I did because I started with him.
Yeah, but you didn't say what it was.
Just like how we had an episode last week. Of course you did. Of course he gave me a.
What is the letter grade that Tanner got? Spit it out. Spit it out.
Put it in the comments below.
Hey, it might have been at the beginning of the episode, so you might just have to refresh this and watch the whole thing again. So audience, if you are invested,
yeah. But
on a second,
we're done here. Give us views, thanks. Bye.
Honk honk.